What's up, Henry?
Hey, Julia. What's up?
What are you drinking your coffee out of this morning?
I don't even know.
Yeah, no, you should fix that.
It's uninspired.
You gotta get in this 905 club, let me tell you.
So if I donate $90.50, I can be part of this club?
It's got mugs, it's got shirts, and it's all dedicated to KCSU.
Well, I guess I'm going to donate to Club 905 because I support local college radio. What about you?
A good set in a play can take you to another world or time, but we often take these backgrounds for granted. I'm sitting here tonight with Duncan Port, a theater major who does anything but that. How are you tonight, Duncan?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good. So tell me some of the sets that you've designed at the UCA.
I've designed a few shows. I haven't had my own independent design yet. I'm actually designing the set for the play next semester, actually. Midsummer's Night Dream by Shakespeare.
Wow, so you're already starting for fall.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for it.
Crazy.
Our first design meeting is actually in 2 weeks, and we're going to start talking about the designs in full detail, and I'm super excited.
Cool. What kind of, I mean, I don't know if you can tell me explicitly what kind of ideas you have, but do you have any thoughts, any like things that make you excited about it?
Yeah, my assistant Xander and I have been talking about doing some cool automation movements or set pieces that kind of move on their own. The ability to kind of have as if the characters are walking into the forest and the trees rise from the ground as they walk towards them. And so the ability to have a transition, like as you said, transforming into a magical world.
Right.
And I want to try and create that magic from the world, from the play, and bring it to life in any way that I can. And so I'm very excited.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. I'm so excited for you.
Another piece I'm doing is there's actually a dance piece I designed for, and it's going to competition in about 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. Emily Morgan, she is the new head of the dance department, and she's the choreographer for this piece. And the piece is entitled Grit, and it's about women in the workplace. And I had to design these steel frame boxes that are also plexiglass. So they're clear, but they're still able to have a dancer stand on top of them and dance on them.
Oh, wow.
And it was an interesting challenge. I had to design it, since it's also competing in Salt Lake City, I had to design it to come apart and then go and travel well as well, which was really cool and interesting to see.
Yeah. So when you design them, are you actually doing the building and construction, or are you just doing the blueprints?
For the design, I actually happen to work in the scene shop, so I do get to build it, but that's not part of the set design requirements. I do design it. I bring the design to Stephen Workman. He's the technical director, and he looks at it and he tells me how he can make what I dream possible, and things that aren't possible, we talk about and debate about what we can do to make it become real. But it's an amazing process to work with Stephen, definitely.
Yeah. So is it mostly done by students, or do professors have a heavy hand in the production of set designs?
It's usually led by students. A lot of times a student will get it, and the teacher's always there to support in case like you need to figure it out. Roger Hanna is the set design teacher, and he's wonderful. He's very talented. He's helped me a lot with the dance piece, and he's going to help me some more with Midsummer's Night Dream. But otherwise, I think next year actually every show is done by a student. Every show, I think we're producing Cabaret and Midsummer's Night Dream, and they're all student-led productions.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Sweet. So what's your favorite part about set designing?
My favorite part about set design would probably be, I think, the ability to bring life to the theater. Like, my goal for every show that I design is that when someone comes in and an audience member sits down, they don't feel like they're in a theater, they feel like they're in where they're supposed to be for the show, and that it can pull them and that like totally forget that they're sitting in a theater, they're watching a show. And that's my goal for every show that I do.
Yeah, definitely. I know every time I've seen a play at the UCA, I mean, I'm just taken aback by how incredible the work is there. I mean, not only the actors, and I know that there's incredible directors there, but every aspect of it is just, I mean, it immerses you so much into the process. So what would be the play that you would want to design a set for more than anything else?
More than anything else? That's a pretty tough question. I think one of my favorite shows of all time has to be Wicked.
Oh.
I fell in love with it. It was one of the shows that got me into doing set design. The lead set designer on that show blew me away when I was a kid and I was younger, and so now that like I'm grown up, I would love to try and recreate it in my own image and try and think of new ways to bring it to life.
Sweet. Yeah, that sounds incredible. What piece has been the hardest or like the most intricate one to work on?
I think one of the pieces that I worked on was Urinetown. I worked with Shay Dite.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. The ability to build a fully moving scaffolding piece for the musical was really interesting and hard to think about because we haven't really done it before at the UCA. And it was interesting to play around with the idea and talk about like what makes it possible, where does it go. But it was still, after execution, watching it come to life, it was definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, that was an incredible set. I loved like the big rafters and oh yeah, y'all made that look incredible. I'm so impressed with all the talent at the UCA. I'm so glad I got to do an episode about
only
it.
gets better.
Yeah. Well, I think those are all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you want to talk about tonight? Anything exciting coming up?
Well, next year, actually, the shows I'm super excited for.
Yeah.
Mainly Cabaret. It's been a while. It's like we get to do a big name show. And then next year, Shay and Lachlan were just here, and they were competing at KCCTF, or the Kennedy Center Awards. And we're actually hosting a convention next year for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're going to show Cabaret to all the theater students from all over America in our region, and we get to like show them Cabaret, and we get to compete and like have the competition here. So it'll be awesome to meet new theater students from all over America and talk to them about like, well, what's your theater program like? I'll meet other set designers and talk about like how they do their process and everything. And I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that sounds like so fun.
Yeah.
What is Cabaret? Can you explain that to me a little bit more?
Yeah. So Cabaret is a musical, and it's about a cabaret, or it's about this nightclub, and I guess the best way to describe it is that it's about these characters in a nightclub, and they try and go on their own adventure outside of it. And it's hard because it's set in the 1920s, so there's a lot of gangster violence and things like that. But it livens the musical, and all the characters living inside of a cabaret who are like people, kind of characters that you wouldn't really interact with everyday life, like women who like pole dancers or strippers and kind of things that each have their own dark story that they're trying to learn about. And so Cabaret is a musical that brings all of those dark things to light and like talks about them in a very festive way.
Oh wow, how fun. That sounds so much fun.
It's a great musical. I'd recommend it. When we present it next year, you should definitely see it.
I should, yeah, I'll have to come back. Well, thank you so much for being on.
No
I
problem.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Well, Rams, that is all the time we have for you tonight. Hopefully you've gotten a greater appreciation for the arts here at CSU. I know I have. I'm kind of obsessed. If you want to learn more about the University Center for the Arts, you can visit uca.collegestate.edu. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for the Thursday night news, and tune in next week at the same time for Local Beats, where they'll be interviewing local band The Beeves. That's all the time I have for you, Rams. But take care of yourselves and have a good night.